get
divorced.
Don't get divorced.
Don't get married. Hi, everyone. I'm Eliza Steinberg. I'm a shareholder at Griffiths Law. And Griffiths Law, we used to do exclusively family law. We added a civil litigation department in 2018, but we are one of the top family law firms in the state.
With a short little video with Eliza Steinberg, and we're going to talk about how real estate is affected during a divorce. So I get a lot of questions, obviously, from clients when they're going through a divorce, what their options are.
Yep.
So let's talk quickly about the different things that might come up.
Sure.
Okay. So one thing we had talked about was, let's say the family home. One person wants to keep the house. The other person doesn't care.
Okay.
What happens in that scenario?
So the first thing you want to look at is, does the person who wants to keep the house qualify to keep the house?
Yeah.
Independent of the other person.
Right.
Because oftentimes these are jointly titled properties and the deed of trust is in both names. And so you need to transfer it to one person's name and they need to qualify for the mortgage independently of
and
the
buy
other
the other person out.
Buy the other person
Okay.
out. Mm-hmm.
So then the other thing that I have come across is one party wants to sell, the other party does not want to sell.
Yep.
What happens there?
So it depends on the overall financial circumstances of the parties.
Okay.
Are there other assets that can be awarded to someone in lieu of the house?
Okay.
And if there are not, then the court's going to probably force a sale of the home so that both parties can walk away with their fair share of the assets in the divorce.
Well, and most common thing is that most people have majority of their money in their home.
A lot of
as
people
equity.
do. It's probably the biggest asset in most
Right.
divorces.
And so we usually see, I mean, I've personally dealt with a few divorce sales where the court ordered it because one person didn't want to get out of the house, didn't want to sell.
Yep.
What happens if, let's say, a party that wants to stay does not qualify for the house?
If they can't qualify for the house is going to get sold.
Okay.
There are some creative settlements people come up with. They give more leeway,
Okay.
To say 12 months to refinance. And one important consideration is spousal maintenance does qualify as income for purposes of
qualifying
obtaining
for a
a
loan.
Mortgage.
Yes.
But you need to show 6 months. And so in some cases, we'll be a little bit more generous with the refinance date.
Okay.
And it'll stay in joint title for a longer period of time. But at the end of the day, if someone can't qualify, then the house gets sold.
So the last few things I wanted to ask you is, let's say, for example, I get this question a lot. I own a house, and then I get married, and then let's say it doesn't work out. So does that, and that person is not on title, is that person entitled to equity in my home?
The person is entitled to equity in your home. They're not entitled to receive the home, but basically you have a separate property claim to the value as of the date of marriage. And then whatever increase in value from the date of marriage to the date of divorce, that gets shared.
Okay, so let me get that straight. So let's say we're married for 5 years, property appreciates $200,000.
Yep.
So what would be my claim? Half of that, correct?
Half of the equity,
Okay,
correct.
perfect.
And obviously the mortgage has to be taken into account.
Okay. And then I ran into this, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. But let's say I'm married and I buy a bunch of properties during the marriage through my business that's titled in my business name. Is that real estate protected during a divorce?
Protected, no. The key piece is that you purchase these properties during the marriage. And it's marital property.
Okay.
And so it would be subject to division. There probably would just be some extra transfers if you were to allocate any of that real estate to your spouse because it's in a business.
Well, there you go. Okay, it's not looking
Don't get
good.
divorced.
Don't get divorced.
Don't get married.
Well, thanks, guys.